Time for a tutorial of a move that I don't know the official name for, so I just call it the Swoop, because that accurately describes what it looks like. You may remember this move, or a more advanced version from Vision Bot Manipulation Series 3, The Room. This move is a very interesting move, and first off, let me explain why it's hard for me, and probably is going to be a lot easier for you. I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, otherwise known as ADD. Basically, one of the defining things of ADD is that I don't have the ability to concentrate on more than one thing at a time. So that's the hardest part of this trick for me, is dividing my attention between the two parts of the trick, which are both pretty simple, and I'll give a slow-mo version here, or as slow as I can. Basically, there's two parts. The setup, which is easy, that actually comes before both parts. But basically you have the setup, which is you have two boxes stacked in your right hand, or your left hand if you're left-handed, like this. I'm using the blue box because that's the one that's going to fall off. You place the third one against the bottom one, like so, and then you use your right hand to push the entire lot up and push it to a balance, and also that the top one falls off. You hold on to the bottom one with your opposite hand and reach across, catching the other one in your dominant hand, the one which you just pushed the boxes up with. Now there's two ways to catch it. There's the over way, which I demonstrated earlier, and there's catching it underneath, like that, which is kind of, there's drawbacks to both ways of doing it. The first way, like this, you don't have a lot of time to reach over and catch the box, but it is an easier catch to make. But it also is harder to manipulate the balance, because you're crossing your arms and you're not going to have the best line of vision or the best mobility of your hand. The second way of doing it is a lot less impressive, I think, but is easier from a catching standpoint because you have more time, and that's catching it underneath, like that. Usually the hard part is you're going to have to catch it edge on like that, and it's again hard to maintain the balance. But this move, it's a very interesting move. Like I said, the hard part, especially for me, is being able to focus on, there's two parts of the trick. The throw and maintaining the balance, and then catching the other part. You got to do those two things at once. There's no way around it. You have to be able to maintain a balance while you're reaching over and catching. And like I said, that's harder for me. It may be easier for you, but that's the big trick with this trick. The hard part about it. But what I would say to practice it is, because this move, there's no real step-ups or similar tricks you can do. This move you just have to learn to do. But a simpler version and a way to practice is to make sure that you can do this catch without focusing on it so much, because that's the hard part. I mean, anybody can take a balance like this and throw it up to a balance. Anybody can do that pretty easy. The thing is, you have to realize how hard you have to throw it, because at first you're either going to throw it too little or you're going to throw it way too much. So you got to practice and figure out exactly how much you need to push it up so that it just comes up and it's really nice and gentle and it stays square on the thing. You don't want it rocking at all, because that'll immediately kill your chances of being able to save it and catch at the same time. So you want to first figure out exactly what it takes to throw it so that it will stay steady and flush. And the next step past there is training for the cross-arm catch. And that right there is how you would train for it. You train by holding two boxes, edge on with your hand, with your not dominant hand, and going for the catch like that with your dominant one. It's going to be weird, and it's not going to be at all similar because there's no way to hold onto it like that and balance that one. I mean, sure you could do that, but that's not going to help in any way. So I would say just figure out ways of practicing this move. Either do things like that or like that, you know, however you want to do it so that you can work on catching it cross-armed, whichever method you want to do, whether you want to do that way or over. Make sure you practice that enough so that you can get it. Once you get both of those down to where you can basically do them without thinking every single time, then you go for it. And it's really quite simple. There's nothing I can really say about it. You just have to go do it. And the really important part is maintaining the balance, because this balance, if it goes off, and it's probably going to go off face on, so that's the hardest. If you know box balancing, anybody can recover from, okay, maybe not anybody, but it's a lot easier to recover from a sideways off balance than it is to recover from this balance. So just try to get it so that it's flush. And look at the balance. Don't look so much at the catch, because if you're a normal toss juggler like me, catching is more natural than balancing. So look at your balance instead of at your catch. I mean, don't completely disregard the catch, but again, like I said, the hard part about this is it's two things happening at once. No way to avoid that, no way to counteract that. You just have to learn to deal with it. I personally go focusing more on the balance than on the catch, and I just kind of, as soon as I see that the balance is taken, go for the catch then. But you figure out your own way. It's a good move. Really, nobody performs it that much, but I really say try this. This is a good move if you're looking to expand your box. Like, every single box trick you ever know is from the set position or from a vertical balance. If that's the case, learn this trick. It'll give you a really good variety. And then there's a couple variations of this trick. None of them really, you know, that imaginative, but you know what I mean. There's plenty of ways to do this, like, you know, simple variations. You'll figure it out. That's the first tutorial for you.